Welcome back to another episode of the Mental Scraps Podcast. I am your host, Devin Scott, and I'm here with my pops, Darnell Scott. We got the D Scotts in the building, man. Welcome back to episode number 5, where we talk about the mental scraps and how you can take other people's scraps from books, the Bible, the websites, wherever you at, and you can turn them into your own scraps to create your own vision and become your own director. So, Pops, how you feeling this morning, brother?
Man, I feel so fantastic. I feel fantastic, man. Today's been a great day.
That's what's up. I love to hear it. So today, man, we're gonna be talking a little bit about some achievement and some failure. I know some of y'all scared of failure, but if you're scared of failure, you ain't never gonna succeed, because we're gonna talk about how failure is the first step in achievement. We'll talk about some partnerships, on how to get partnerships and how to find partners, mentors, or whatever that looks like. And then lastly, we'll wrap up with a little bit of the why. So why are we doing this? Why are we working so hard? Why are we doing everything that we're doing in order to move the needle? So that's what we're going to talk about today. And a quick promo, man. We'll hit a quick promo, man. I'm going to drop this today, Pop. But a quick promo, we do have some Freedom Finder Closing the Health Gap webinars going on right now, every Tuesday right now. So if you watching this, and it's November 2021 right now. So if you November 2021, make sure y'all go tap with the Freedom Finders and my guy, the host Mike T, to have them figure out how we can close the health gap, as we know that health is wealth. So a quick promo this morning for the Freedom Finders. So shout out to them Freedom Finders. But with that being said, man, let's get right up into this thing. We're gonna kick it off and just start talking about achievement, because like we just talked about, the achievement and the first step to achievement is failure. So I know that this is something that you was talking about, Pop. So like, for the people listening, like, what does that even mean? Like, what do you mean the first step of achievement is failure?
Well, so when you start something new, like I kind of talked a little bit about the circle, and people have a system where they go to work, they get ready for the day, go to work, ride to work for 8 hours, 9 hours, ride home, get some food, watch some TV, go to bed, wake up and do it again. Like every day. And then Friday night is party time. Now they spending their time to party. They like unwinding from all the decisions they didn't make for themselves and how they serve somebody else and all that. So I say the first step of achievement is like when you're going to another level within yourself. When you want to do something that is for you and for your legacy. So we always think that it should be easy, a microwave generation we live in, but it's not like that, man. We need a plan, and that plan, when you first write that plan, you're going to go to work. And like, I'll give an example. So me and a partner named David, he's my mentor with photography. So we planned, we bought a printer, we bought everything we needed to go and take pictures of these youth while they playing basketball, right? 3, 4, 5, and 6-year-olds, most powerful images you can ever get, right? So we decided we're going to print on location. So we started that, we had a certain goal that we wanted to get to the first week. We wanted to make 1,000 the first week, but we had a lot of technical difficulties. So we ended up making like 500 or 600 instead of 1,000. So the first achievement for us was failure, because first of all, we knew our goal was 100, but we ended up doing, like 500, like half of what we had, that we had planned to do. So we immediately went back to the drawing board and came up with ideas so that we could take our, get up to that 100, so we can get up to that 100. So the first achievement for us was failure, meaning we made some money. Now we didn't it wasn't like a total destruction. It was just that we didn't get to our mark, our target, the thing that we was aiming for. And now we see more ways where we can get to that 100. So when you fail, you can go back to the drawing board. That's the only way you should ever go back, is when you go into the drawing board.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I love that. And I want to actually go even further back before that, because the first step to achievement may be failure, right? But in my opinion, the first step of anything is making a decision. Man, we have to make the decision of what we want to do. So you and David decided to, hey, we're going to take these pictures, we're going to do it with the kids, we're going to print on demand. That was the decision to say, this is what I'm about to do, right?
Yeah.
And like we talk about all the time, like this is the goal. Like, this is what we're doing. Then we set a goal of, hey, we're going to make $1,000 a day. Cool, right? And now we have the metrics to track. So now you're going from a goal to a SMART goal, because it's actually timely. We're doing it on this day. It's measurable. We're going to make $1,000. right?
Mm-hmm.
It's achievable. You can definitely make $1,000 in a day with all these kids around, right? It's achievable.
Mm-hmm.
All that type of stuff. So all the SMART goals, if y'all know what SMART goals is, the acronym. It's very specific, exactly what y'all gonna do, all that, right? But it started with a decision. So
Mm-hmm.
to go back to that, like, what made y'all want to make the decision to say, hey, we're photographers. Let's go to a youth basketball league and go do print on demand so the parents can take the pictures home with them right now.
Well, photography is probably the most um, it's the greatest language in the world, because a man in China can look at a brown baby smiling and can, in his own language, say the brown baby smiling. So photography is universal. It's a universal language. So, I felt like if we catch a young child in, doing their thing, playing basketball in the air, dribbling the basketball, I felt like it would create a hardwired moment for that kid, so he could look back. It really ain't for the parent. It's really the parent got to pay for it because the kid ain't got no money, But it's for the kid, so he can look at that image and remind himself that he played basketball. And then, if you have wise mentors around, such as myself and other people who think like I do, then you can start saying, man, that's great. You can improve, dribble more. If you dribble 1,000 times and your competition don't dribble none, you're gonna have 1,000 dribbles more than them. So this is like motivation for them. They're seeing crystal clear images of themselves. So I said to David, I said I would like to do this, and he first he gave me some pushback because he's old school, and he think the new thing is digital. No, digital's old. The new thing is actually having things in print, because
Mm-hmm.
everything else is digital. Like all these books behind me, everybody want it on an iPad, on a computer screen, things like that. No, sir. You want to give people something in their hands, so that they can. You don't need no electricity. You don't need nothing. All you need is a $10 bill, and we'll make a currency trade. I'll give you this for that.
Mm-hmm.
So this is it's like for the kids, so that they can see themselves doing excellent things, and the parents appreciate us, and they also think about us as a brand when they need something else.
Mm-hmm. No, I
Mm-hmm.
love that. I love that, and it's funny how the trends come back around, right? So
Mm-hmm.
you was born. We was talking about it before. You was born, 73.
Yeah.
I'm born in 93, but it's funny because in the 80s it was one way, and then the 90s happened, and then going back to the 2000s, it's like we wearing the stuff, and just talking clothes, I guess we wearing the stuff that y'all was wearing in the 80s and the 90s. It's like it
Mm-hmm.
just comes right back. But like you saying, we were all print. Everything was in person. Like everything you put it in the hand, product in hand. We went digital, and I like the way you think, and you're going back to that print because it's different. It's the marketplace that people are not playing in anymore. So you become the anomaly, and the people know you as, oh, I want to take my pictures home of my babies right now. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and the thing is, they can always digitize it. It's easy to digitize. You can take a picture of it easy.
Man, it's in the value ladder. It's in the value ladder. You get the digital. You can always get if you want the digital, you can get that anytime you want.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of the value ladder, uh,
Mm.
what does that mean? What does that mean for the list? What is a value ladder? What do you mean by value ladder?
So the first product. So I have a ladder that's gonna. I'm gonna keep giving people more valuable things as we climb up. Things that people want, not necessarily something that they need. It's gonna be something that they want, right?
Mm-hmm.
Photography is not a need unless you have an understanding. Like, if you're a visionary like me, then you understand that you got to have things written down. You have to, you got to have things written down so that you can improve yourself. You got to have something to measure.
Mm-hmm.
So you was to give them that information. And then I created a QR code where they can, now I have their name and their email, and now I can offer them a magazine, a poster. I can offer them a hardback book. I can offer them a slideshow video. I can offer them so many different products, and then later on, when they're a senior in high school, assuming that I'm still doing this work, then I can do their senior portraits, or I can have my mentees who I'll be training up, to take my role, because you got to pass the baton to the generation that's coming. So my value ladder is basically, you come in with something, kind of small, that everybody, when they see it, they say, oh, that's a no-brainer, gotta have it. They get it, you get their name, email, and then you're able to communicate with them, and they're able to talk to you, and you can give them more value. And
Mm-hmm.
as the value goes up, so does the price.
Yep. Yep. It's an X and Y axis. So the more value you bring, the higher the price you pay. And the way I love to talk about it, and got it from Myron Golden, and the way he talks about it with as an example, right? Is because think about it like this. So if for the people who like Mercedes Benz, right? So
Mm-hmm.
Mercedes, their highest end product was like how do I word this? Like, so let me just say it like this. Why did Mercedes make the Maybach? The Maybach is the highest end product. It's the highest end. It's the luxury. It's the Maybach. Like everybody know, oh, that's a Maybach, right? But
Mm-hmm.
the only reason Mercedes made the Maybach is because they got tired of their customers leaving and going to Rolls Royce. That's why they made the
Mm-hmm.
Maybach. So what this is called, this is actually, it's only 4 things to grow a business, by the way. If wherever you at, if you're making $100 a month or $1,000 a month, $10,000 a month, shoot, whatever that is, in order to grow it, it's only 4 things, by the way. And this is the third thing. It's called customer ascension. You need to ascend your customer up to the next level, because once your customer buys everything you have, and you like, okay, I bought this. Hey, I got a picture. Hey, now I got the digital. Well, now I want a poster. So now I want a whole book. I want a whole book of just me, right? So like that's the value ladder to where they're sending up. And just like Mercedes, they said, hey, I'm tired of them going to Rolls Royce, so we gonna create something else for us that we gonna have. Same thing Ford just did. They just created the Ford Bronco to compete with Jeep. That's all it is. They said we getting tired of people leaving. If they don't want the F-150, they going to Jeep so they can get more of a box, right? They like the box type. It's better off road. It's blah blah blah. So you know what we gonna do? We gonna create a Ford Bronco, and it's gonna look like the Jeep. It's gonna be just like the Jeep, but it's gonna be Ford instead of Chrysler. That's the customer ascension. So this is very, very, very basic principles of how to keep growing your business. So if you're an entrepreneur, like this is one of the things that you want to be thinking about, because if your offer is $100 and you don't have a $1,000 offer, guess what? Your highest, best customers are going to give somebody else $1,000. If you got $1,000 and you don't got a $10,000 offer, guess what? Your best customers are going to buy your give $10,000 to somebody else that should be in your pocket because you already got them as a customer. So this is how you keep your customer ascending up the value ladder. And as you provide more value, they're going to pay you more money. So love talking about that a little bit. But getting back to well, speaking of value ladder, I guess we'll go ahead and hit it. It's kind of my next. I kind of want to talk about this a little bit with the partnerships too, because we want to talk partnerships. I do want to hit a little bit more on failure a little bit, so people can like get into their head and understand what, like, you have to fail first. You have to, like, that's the first step of achievement is failure, and that just drives people crazy. But speaking of the Freedom Finders, as I'm the president of the Freedom Finders, and what we're doing here with the value ladder, we actually just divide and conquer talking partnerships right now, because on our value ladder we start with mentorship. Right, so that's first and foremost. That's our youth. That's our we call it recidivism. So making sure people that's going to jail and juveniles, making sure that they're getting out, and the teachers. So that's our mentorship. We're mentoring people that's in trouble, teachers, as well as the youth. But from there, we level up. We're sending the customer up to Freedom Finder Unleashed. Right, so now Freedom Finder Unleashed, when we're talking to the parents, that's talking to people who want transformation in their life. That's people who's actually ready and actually already made the decision or on the cusp of making the decision. We help them make that decision and make it happen and go there. The next level is Freedom Finder University. So it's our old university, a private university, to where we're literally giving a master's degree in entrepreneurship.
Yes, sir.
And then from there, we have our Freedom Finder Inner Circle for those people that want to keep coming around and keep on leveling up as times change. As we go from paper to digital back to paper, as times are changing, we can track that and we can hold each other accountable, because iron sharpens iron. So that's our value ladder with the Freedom Finders. We're sending people up that value ladder to where they're getting more value over and over time. And of course, they're going to pay for a higher price as well. So a little one-on-one about value ladders and a promo about Freedom Finder Unleashed. Man, if that's you, if this interests you, by the way, this is where you want to tap in with Freedom Finder Unleashed. All you got to do is simply hit me up, Devin D. Scott, all platforms, put an IM in my DMs, and we'll send you out the application to see if you're a good fit for Freedom Finder Unleashed and make sure everything is good to go. So, but anyway, getting back, you have anything to add to that? If not, I want to go back to failure real quick.
Yeah. Well, people are so scared to pay for knowledge. And here's the thing. Here's what an expert can give to a person. Now, an expert is not a person who is necessarily smarter than you, because you may be smarter at whatever you're great at, but you may have a lack mentality when it comes to a certain area that can help you improve, or more smoothly, where you don't have to go through the rugged roads, all of the pains of growth and all of that, where you can just kind of just get into a system and just go straight to your target. So I heard a quote that said, simplicity is the greatest mastery. And an expert gives you simplicity to get you from where you're at to where you want to go. So you always want to connect with somebody who is where you want to be, where you want to. So because everything that we are doing right now, I've seen other people do it. I've seen this mic. I feel real confident. I feel real good about, being a part of this, because it's the new way to transfer information from a mind to another mind. And the thing is, if you don't pay money, then you won't pay attention. Where you put your money, that's where you're going to put your attention. And without your attention, like, if you don't pay for it, you can put on a YouTube video or whatever. You can just go your own way and you be doing something else. And you'll miss that key thing that you need. But if you put that money there where your mind is, put the money where your mind is, then you'll be able to ascend your own value ladder and bring your own vision into manifestation.
Mm-hmm. And I just want to say that one more time. When people don't pay, they don't pay attention. Real talk. That's just what it is. They just don't pay attention. Like, just think about how many YouTube videos is out there. Hey, are you really paying attention? Or you just, you know what I'm saying? Are you really locked in? But that's the one thing that, and I'll talk to you about this, Pops. That's the one thing that really drove me to where I'm going now. And, I'm sharing some stuff tomorrow. I'm dropping another business tomorrow, transforming a lot of lives. So I'm not going to share it quite yet. But that's the one thing that I did to understand that. Did we talk about the monkey in the box last episode? I can't remember. The monkey in the box. We talked about the monkey in the box.
Nah, we just talked about it.
Okay, I think we was on the phone talking about that. But for an analogy, real quick, imagine there's a box and there's a circle in the box, and there's a monkey, and monkeys love bananas, right? Now there's a banana in the box, and the monkey knows there's a banana in the box. So what does the monkey do? He sticks his hand inside the box. Now this hole in the box is only big enough for the monkey to slide his hand in like this. He gets his hand in, he grabs a banana. Now what happens when he grabs a banana? He tries to pull that banana out, but now his fist is balled up, and he cannot get out. He's stuck. Now the monkey first desire was the banana. That's what he wanted. Talk about what you want. He wanted the banana. That's why he put his hand in there. Now the monkey has a banana, but now he's stuck and can't get out, and he can't have the banana, or he can't get his freedom either because he's stuck. So what does the monkey have to do in order to get unstuck? He has to release the banana, slide his hand out, and get his freedom back. So the whole purpose of this analogy is you must release that seed. You have your seed in your hand, talking about farmers. You have a seed in your hand, and you got to go grow some crop. If that farmer just holds his crop in his hand all year round and just goes water the dirt, what's going to happen? Nothing's going to grow, right? You have to release that seed into the ground in order to grow that, in order to now water that seed, in order for it to germinate and have a harvest. So that's the one thing that I did, was releasing that seed and say, you know what? I don't have a scarcity mindset no more. I know everybody probably thinks I'm crazy. People is like, what? Why are you doing this? Why are you putting money into something? You're paying for coaching? What? Yes. I'm not worried about nobody else. Yes. Paying for coaching because I'm releasing that seed to where now I have a seed in the ground to now I can now water that. Now it's going to bring me a harvest back. So, yep.
It's powerful. Very powerful.
It's a big time thing. And the cool part of, again, I want to go back before we get into partnership. I want to go back to the failure, right? Of the first achievement is failure, right? We have to fail first. And one thing a lot of people like to say is fail forward, right? You want to fail forward. Now, the part of failure, right? Once you fail, like you talked about earlier, Pops, you now learned what didn't work. This is what I teach to the youth. You need to go get some observation hours so you can figure out not what you want to do, so you can figure out what you don't want to do. You know what I mean? I figured out that I didn't want to be a physical therapist anymore. I said, that's cool, but I don't want to do this every day for the rest of my life. Like, I'll come volunteer and come, you know what I'm saying? I come every once in a while, but every day?
Right.
I said, I don't know about that. Oh, and then it's 200,000. Oh, duh. And then I make how much? Oh, duh. I'm definitely not going. Right.
Mm-hmm.
But but and anyway, going back to failure, we have to figure out what you don't want. What don't you want? And that failure allows you to track and measure what everything that you're doing to say like, hey, if we have a goal of like going back to your analogy, pops, and making $1,000, we only made 500. Why? Why do we only make 500? Oh, because we had this issue, and this issue. We had one person not. We needed somebody to manage the printer. The printer wasn't working half the time. So if it was working half the time, we would have definitely made. So next time, guess what we have? A plan. Now we're going
Mm-hmm.
in and we're solving that. So the problem is that people give up after a failure. They say, "Oh, I lost," and I know most of y'all probably heard about this before. It's not a loss; it's a lesson. You learn something.
Mm-hmm.
So when
Well,
you learn, go ahead.
yeah, well, but what I wanted to say was, it's like, first of all, before you begin anything, it doesn't matter how great you are, how great of a memory. Some people, I hear people say all the time that their ideas are in their mind, they remembered everything. It's impossible that you can remember all the steps to build a house. Impossible to to have all the steps in your memory to build a car, to build a chicken coop, even, a small thing. So you have to understand that you have to have a written plan to improve your life. Your life is so much more valuable than a house. It's like when people will work their whole life so that they can pay bills and pay somebody else's college tuition. Your kid can't even go to college because you give them all your money, all of your time and effort, all of your resources. And would you like people will not you wouldn't trade your life for a car. So don't let a car be your goal. There's two types. There's people always talk about time freedom. That's cool. Financial freedom. There's three, I believe. There's financial freedom. There's location freedom, and there's time freedom. Financial, location, and time, which mean you controlling your life and doing what you want to do with your time. I do what I want to do every day, and the reason I do that is because I took the time to plan and to write down my ideas, and I write down my ideas every single day. And people, some people who know me, they say, like, you answer the same three questions every day. Yeah, because day one, I asked myself what I wanted, and my want was to I want 1,000 young people to touch these cameras and to get the experience of photography. Then we're gonna do the weeding process. Everybody's not gonna want to do it. That's easy to see. I can already see it right now. Uh, why did I want it? Well, crime prevention. You got kids doing something positive with their mind. They're getting outside the house. They're hanging with peers. They're doing things for peers, so they become the cool kid. If they're a nerd, if I sit in a wheelchair, it doesn't matter what level they are. If you're catching great images of kids in the air and doing the things in sports photography, you're a hero to them.
Mm-hmm.
You become a cool, what term, the cool kid. Because they're gonna be looking for your expertise, which is what you're doing for them, not for yourself, for them. You do it for you, but you're really doing it as a servant to the people, right? And then then the third question is, what am I willing to give to get it? I'm willing to give my attention. I'm willing to ask questions. I'm willing to listen to the kids when they're talking and giving me ideas and information. I'm willing to share my time, which is my most precious asset is my time. So I answer those questions every day. So, like, just to give an example, so day two, I ask myself, what do I want? Now, if I already said I want 1,000 kids to touch the camera, now what I want, along with the 1,000 people touching the camera, I want to find those kids who may have a passion for photography. I want to find those kids. Why do I want that? Well, because I'll be able to help them become a no photographer. They don't have no photography skill at all. They have zero technical skills. They've never ever touched a camera before. I'll be able to show those kids who really want it how to go from zero all the way to the point where they can take pictures like I take, at a professional level. And I can give them all the skills, and it doesn't take a long time because I'm an expert. I know what I'm doing. I don't need anybody. No, nobody can tell me how to build Darnell, but I can show you how to build you as it relates to photography. And then the last step You know why? It's because these kids, they need this stuff. I don't know if I said why already, but they need this stuff. They need something to do outside of video games. Outside of, really need to be outside 30 minutes every day. You need to go out your house at least 30 minutes a day and let that sunshine rain on you, because that's the true vitamin D. You can't find the true vitamin D in no pill. You get true vitamin D by going outside, walking to the mailbox, walking the dog, walking around the block, or walking on the football field with a camera. That'll help you too.
Mm-hmm.
And then the last step is, what am I willing to give? So I'm willing to give, first of all, my attention, my time, my effort, and then I'm willing to learn. I'm willing to keep improving myself, to learn and grow, read books, talk to people, ask questions. I'm willing to keep improving myself. And then you say, wait a minute, so I got to do that on day 3 too? Now, what do you, on day 3, most people are usually stumped. What do you want? I already want 1,000 people to touch it. No, you just use your imagination. You already got your formula. You already got it written down. So now what you do is you add to that. You keep adding to it. Keep adding to it. And then when somebody come and ask you a question, like the president or the politicians in Anderson, they come and say, hey, we love what you're doing with your program. Tell me more about it. I have so much content because I write every single day, 47 days straight now. I have 47 days of content. I've written some down every single day for what do I want? Why do I want it? What am I willing to give to get it? So I have too much content. I can talk to anybody now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I love that. And going back to the failure, right? So you putting cameras in children's hands, right? So speaking of failure, when they've never touched a camera before ever, never touched
Never.
it. They grab that camera. They don't even know what to do. You tell them, hey, click that button. What happens when they first click that first button? Click, blurry, can't see nothing. What's going on? Failure. That's failure. You just failed of taking a professional picture. With the goal of being professional. That's the goal, by the way. Having taken professional picture with clarity. Fail, right? But what happens? You say, "Oh, I failed." Well, hey, I don't know how to the iris is all. You know all that better than me. But something's wrong. What's wrong? We zoomed in, shoot the camera cap was on the thing. It was black, right? You failed, but now you learned the lesson to how to keep moving forward with that. So that's what we mean by when we say the first step to achievement is failure, because now you have a baseline of where you at that you can now improve from. All we're trying to do is improve. Just like the customer ascension value ladder. We're trying to send them up. We want them to prove up the ladder. That's all we're doing. But you have to put your foot in the ground and leave your footprint to say, like, this is where I'm at. And that is exactly what going to transition what you was talking about, Pops. That's what you talking about with the what do you want, why do I want it, and what do I plan on to go get it? What am I willing to give to get it? You're putting you're planting your foot and you're making a decision to say, this is what I want, this is where I'm going. Now you have something to track and measure. Go fail right now, today. Go make a failure today. Go fail. Yeah, that didn't work. Great job, it didn't work. You learned something that didn't work. Now go do it again. Now go do it again. And then guess what? After the 10th failure, it may not even take that many times, to be honest with you. But say you fail 10 times. You think you're going to be better on the 11th time than the first time?
The greatest fail every day. The greatest fail every day. You always fail. You never see the spirit of improvement. It's impossible to catch it. You can only grab the coattail of improvement. You will never surpass improvement. It's uncatchable. It's like the wind. Improvement is like the wind. You can never catch the wind. You can always feel the effects of it though. You have winds that can burn, that can tear a house up. You have winds that can make you feel cool on a peaceful day. You have fire that can cook your food, or you have fire that can cook you. Improvement, you cannot catch it. It's impossible. So here's the thing: if you learn that you have to fail every day, you have to try something stronger than you every day. Like when you go lift weights, if you can do 10 sets, it's good for aerobics, to burn fat. But if you're trying to improve strength, you have to go up 2.5 pounds on each side in order to improve your strength. So you will never ever catch improvement. You will never catch it. So fail every day. Do something. Here's what happens when you fail a lot of times. Apple. When you fail a lot of times, you come up with the iPhone. iPhone 1, 2, 3, 13, 29, whatever. When you fail every day, you come out with beautiful products that help people, and it helps you more than anybody else. It's not really about um it's not really about some people say destination. It's not a destination, it's a journey. You're
Mm-hmm.
going through the journey of life because tomorrow's not promised. So today's journey is the only day that's important.
Mm-hmm.
So fail, 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 fail. Fail is wealth. When you fail and then re-edit what you've already written, if you don't have nothing written, you're wasting your time. You may learn some intrinsic things by failing over and over without writing, but if you write it down, it's the cheat code. Word hacking. Some people talk about funnel hacking, which is, I love it. Word hacking. You need to start hacking your word and start hacking away all that stuff that you don't need. And then you'll become an expert. And you'll be able to do things, you know, orderly. Get that one thing done. But if you want to improve, then you have to do something that you've never done before.
Mm-hmm. And that talks about the being uncomfortable, because nobody grows in their comfort zone. So failure is uncomfortable. It's very uncomfortable. But
Mm-hmm.
again, you grow when you're uncomfortable. If you're comfortable, you're not gonna grow. You're not
Mm-hmm.
gonna get better. So go fail, like we're talking about. Go fail. Find something that you can go fail on. And it doesn't mean it has to be like the one thing that I'm doing and this is it. Like, no, just today. What do I want today? I want this. This is how I'm feeling today. That's why I want this. I want this. Why do I want it? I want it because of this. What do I plan on doing about it in order to get it? I'm gonna do this, this, and this today. Let's go.
Mm-hmm.
Go fail. That didn't
Mm-hmm.
work. Didn't work. Go try it again. And the cool part is, it's your story. You're the
Mm-hmm.
author. So grab you, erase it, cross it out, write something else. It's
Don't
all up
don't
to you.
erase it.
Don't
Yeah,
erase it.
don't erase it. Don't erase it. Re-edit your work. Re-edit. Keep your old stuff
Mm-hmm.
so you can show people what you went through. Always
Yep.
keep a track record, keep a history report. And when the first thing I did was this, don't do that. Second thing I did was this. Mm-mm. This is what I did, but this is what you can do now to hack that.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can go the hard way. Some people would like to do the hard thing. And I'll say something else. I'm a mentor too. It's really not about um uncomfortable. I don't like that word no more. Okay, I don't like uncomfortable because I'm very comfortable failing. I love to fail. I love it. It's like food to my spirit. Because when I give God something to work with, he give me answers and instructions. So when I fail at something that I love and something I'm passionate about, which is photography and young people and the improvement of the mindset, lighten up the dark areas of people's minds. When I do that, I fail often because these kids will defend their territory. No, sir, I don't want to change that. I want to call my mama name. I want to hit somebody. I want to break this rule. I fail miserably every day, because I have an idea of, well, when I say this to this kid, whoa, he gonna be blown away. He's gonna change his life. He's gonna be free. It doesn't work that way because he's defending his territory. He's defending the gateway of his mind because he's comfortable with everything he's doing. He's comfortable with that. And when he becomes uncomfortable with that, then most people, 95, 98% of people, they shy away from uncomfort. So I'm saying you have to become comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
You have to love it like a warm blanket when it's cold outside. You have to love it because if you really want to improve yourself, the one thing that you want to do, because you have to have focus. You can't be scatterbrained, like they try to make you in school. You got to do English, math, science. You know what they should do in school? They should have math on Monday. They should have science on Tuesday. They should have gym on Thursday. They should have, whatever. They should have one day for that. That's what I believe will help more kids on this earth. It's by focusing their mind. You can't be scatterbrained and improve and have any relevant thing or any remarkable work at all. It doesn't work,
Mm-hmm.
become uncomfortable. Love to be uncomfortable because that's the way to wealth. And it's not uncomfortable. You don't really feel a pain. Uncomfort is when somebody punch you in the arm and you feel it for 4 or 5 days. That's uncomfortable. But when you mentally, it's not uncomfortable. Your brain needs it, your mind uses it, and your heart is able to improve it. So be uncomfortable. Like, this is a word hack that most people are not going to talk about, and most people probably won't agree with it. But if you came where I came from, you would understand what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And then it's a forever cycle though, because once you become comfortable, it was uncomfortable because once you do it the first time, it's uncomfortable. Then you do it the second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. Now it becomes comfortable, right? And now it feels comfortable. Now it got easy. But are you gonna stay there?
Exactly.
You got to go again. You got to go get uncomfortable again, because the whole cycle keep on getting uncomfortable. And this is where failure comes from. And this is why I relate failure to the being uncomfortable. But yeah, you have to get comfortable being uncomfortable, and then you got to keep on going and get uncomfortable so you can get comfortable again. And it's a whole cycle. And that is the levels of improvement, and that's how you improve. Real simple. This is really simple stuff, y'all. If it sounded crazy, rewind it back 25 seconds, 3 minutes, whatever. It's just simple stuff. Go fail early and often. But I want to transition to what was talking about our next subject of partnership, right? Because partnership's huge. And the GOAT Myron Golden talks about, I'd rather have 100% of a watermelon than 50% of a grape. Well, my bad. I'd rather have 50% of a watermelon. Said that backwards. I'd rather have 50% of a watermelon than 100% of a grape, right? And it's just like, wow, that makes a lot of sense. Like, but where we came from, we have a lot of scarcity in our minds of feeling like we have the crabs in a barrel mindset to where, oh, if I'm making it, if I got the J's, you can't get the J's too because I got them. Like, no, we can both rock the J's today. It's okay. They fresh. Like, let's both rock them, right? We can all grow and improve together. So when it comes to partnerships, when it comes to your business with Healthy Options, Darnell Photography, all this stuff, like what does partnership look like in your world?
So partnership is where I take my expertise and I go into a place where I can solve a problem. And so the school system, they have a lot of young minds, and they don't have enough information for them to feel great about themselves. They have the same stereotypical, go to school, do your work, make good grades, and then one day you'll be able to get a job and serve somebody with your time and effort. What I like to teach, what the problem I want to solve is, I want people to run off of their own energy. I want them to believe in themselves, that they can run off their own energy. And instead of reading everybody else's books, I want them to write their own books. Instead of looking at everybody else's pictures, I want them to take their own pictures. Instead of looking at everybody's websites, I want them to create their own websites. Become a problem killer, a solution bringer. A person who brings solutions. So, I heard a very wise man say, walk outside the front of your house. What the first problem you see? Start a business. You won't get very far before you can start a business if you walk outside of your front door. All you do is look to the left or the right or ahead. Somebody's lawn is probably not as good as it could be, and your lawn looks great. You can go over there with a solution and say, hey, I can do that for you. You can start a business with that. You see trash on the street, you can become a trash collector. And you can become a trash collector, and you can pick up trash in the neighborhood, and that business can be a volunteer business that can brand you for later on, where I pick up all the trash in neighborhoods, and by the way, I take pictures too. There's so many things you can do, with your life. So I want to be clear on a partnership, because what I want people to understand is you don't have to always strive for more money. You don't have to do that, because let's say your goal is to make $10,000 a month, and that would be your heaven on earth. Once you get to $10,000 a month, by all means, that's your success level. That's where you want to be. Be comfortable there. Go hard. Do your 100% to get your $10,000 a month every month. Feel good about what you're doing. You don't have to stress yourself out about making $20,000 a month or $30,000 a month or $50,000 a month. You can just stay at that $10,000 level if that's your comfort, because success is doing what you want to do with your time. That's what success is. So it's not always about always trying to get more. That's what somebody may want, and that's cool. And I don't knock anybody. But $50,000 a month sounds like a very good plan for me. And if you're doing excellent work, it's gonna by natural, it's just gonna naturally grow. The money's naturally going to grow because more people are going to hear about you. But your goal should not be in a partnership like with me with the schools. Me connecting my program to the school and giving them something else that they can offer to their students that they weren't thinking about offering. Now I already know what's going to happen. That once I go into the school and I start putting my program in there, they're always going to look for a way to hack you out. That's why you need a contract. So when you have a partnership with someone, you always want to have a contract in place. Maybe 10 years, 5 years, or 1 year. Maybe you don't want to be locked in that long. Maybe a 5-year contract would be really, really good. And then after that 5-year contract, they can do what they want. But you want to lock yourself in with a contract, even when you're dealing with person to person, like you, Devin, you're a mentor. When you start consulting people, you need to have a contract for 6 months, a year, or whatever in place, so that you can protect your rights and protect your word. Because after you get done mentoring them, they can take that same information and do whatever they want with it. So partnerships are the most powerful thing in the world because they already have the school. They have first graders all the way to 12th grade, and then next year it repeats itself. The first grader becomes a second grader, and the 12th grader goes to college. If that's their dream. So a partnership is a very, very beautiful relationship where two people agree on something and then something great comes out of it. I know that was long winded, but that's what
It's
it
all
is.
good.
That's what it is.
It's all
Yeah,
good. And
yeah.
the cool part about partnership, like I said earlier, like I'd rather have 50% of the watermelon than 100% of the grape. And the thing with partnerships, and I don't know word by word, but the Bible talks about if you have one, you'll have you'll create 1,000. If you have two, you'll create 10,000.
That's
Because
right.
the math will say, oh, if I had one, I'll do 1,000. Two would be 2,000. Nah. Nope.
Mm-hmm.
Two will go to 10,000. You'll 10x from the partnership because the beauty of partnerships is I may be really good at something. But everybody has strengths and weaknesses. Everybody. Nobody is a master of all. Nobody. But if I'm a master at one thing, I may have some weaknesses in another thing because I spent a lot of my time to become a master at that one thing. So the other things I may have some weaknesses. So if I become a master communicator, I may have some weaknesses when it comes to administration. With contracts, like you talking about, Pops, I may have some weakness in that of organization and having this and having that. But when I'm ready to communicate, I'm a master. So what can I do to partner with somebody who is a master administrator? They may not be the best communicator, but they're a master administrator, right? So the things that you're not good at personally, find you somebody who is great at it, and you guys can partner together because more than likely their weaknesses are also your strengths. And that's the partnership. That's what makes the beautifulness of a partnership. But I want to ask you this, Pops, talking about, because we're going to business, right? We're talking business, we're talking this. And what about those people that, like, I don't want to run a business. That's not for me. Like this like I'm good. Matter of fact, they're comfortable, right? I don't want to run a business. It's not this. I'm not a business owner. Like, what do you say to those type of people? And can they partner with somebody else who may be the business owner and bring their expertise?
Yep. I'm gonna show you something. I'm gonna grab something real quick. I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna show you something real quick. I'm gonna show you something.
All right, bet.
Give me 1 minute. Yep. Give me 1 second. All right. So, some people don't want to do a business, but they're profuse with ideas. You know, people buy ideas too. You know, there's some people in the world, like, everybody's not great at, making thoughts become things. They're not great at that, but they are great at seeing incredible things in their mind. I encourage young people to write down all of your crazy ideas. Write them all down. It may be crazy to you only because you can't find it anywhere in the world. Nothing new under the sun, but guarantee somebody's done that sometime in history before. Like, people were photographers before there were cameras.
Mm-hmm.
It's called hieroglyphs. That was photography. That's how they did it. So those young people or anybody in the world, it don't matter how old you are. If you want to do something, you're not really a business owner. You don't have that type of mindset, and you just believe that what you have is valuable. Everything you have is valuable. By the way, you have no bad thoughts. All you have is low energy or high energy. You have low expectation or high expectation. So if you want to not be, I mean, if you don't want to be a business, but you still want to make a lot of money, then be an idea producer, be a problem solver. Like, see the problem, beat it in your mind, write a plan, sell the plan. That's how you could do that. It's very simple. Words matter. Your words matter. This whole generation, this whole world, this whole history that we have, we cannot articulate anything without words. So if you learn how to organize your knowledge and organize your information, somebody will buy it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 100%. And the cool part about that is, I just want to say this because that's always a question. I don't want to be a business owner. That's not my league. But listen, did y'all know that all that business is problem solving?
Mm.
That's what business is. Business is problem. It's literally solving problems. So the best businesses solve the biggest problems.
Mm-hmm.
So what problem is out there in the masses? If you want to be a business owner, that's the first thing you should think of. What problem am I solving? If somebody's at point A, how do I get them to point Z and transform into to Z to become that person who is Z and close that transformation gap? That's all business is. So when you say I don't want to be a business owner, well, you're solving problems, like, but I'm hearing you complain about having to go to work, and I'm hearing you complain that you only have 10 to 15 days of vacation time, and you wish that you could travel more. And I'm hearing you complain that you don't have enough time to spend with your kids.
Mm-hmm.
Well, don't make the business this big old thing of I'm trying to become Apple or Microsoft. No. Solve a problem. You're already solving a problem. You're solving it.
Mm-hmm.
You have a problem of you can't spend enough time with your kids because you're at work. Solve it.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I do. That's the problem I solve. People who's feeling unfulfilled. They're unfulfilled.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have enough time in their life. They wish they had more time to go on vacation. They wish they had more time to spend with their kids and their wife and their girlfriends and their friends. They wish they didn't have to wake up every single Monday and be like, oh, I got to go to work. And then on Friday, they're like, hey, it's Friday. I'm excited. They wish they could have every single day as the weekend.
Right.
That's a big problem, right?
Mm-hmm.
I solved that problem.
Yeah.
That's what business is. But you was gonna show something, Pops? What you got for us to show?
Yeah. So I just when I say like when I say stuff, man, it becomes a reality for me. I don't know if I
Put it up
okay.
a little bit. See
Well,
photos. Yep.
that's on a T-shirt.
Mm-hmm.
Now, yesterday I got 20, actually it's 25 leads now. They clicked that code on my shirt while I was taking pictures.
Yep.
So now, and hopefully they'll click it so that people can see what it is on the video there. So it takes the parents right to the gallery where all the images are. And when they click the image, they can click this key word called buy. Now, if they don't buy the images at the game, they're not gonna get the best deal. All right, because if you buy it on the website, you're gonna pay $12 for the same thing you would have paid 10 for. Then you gotta pay shipping and handling on top of that. So if they don't get it now, they're gonna spend about $7 to $8 more for the same image. So I have young people that may not want to be a photographer, but they may want to solve problems for businesses. You know what I mean? They may want to solve problems for business. This right here. This is gold. This is gold right here. 25 leads. I didn't do nothing but do what I always do.
Yep.
So there's always something for young people to do. It's always something to improve. It's always a problem to solve. If there's never no problem to solve in the world, man, we got to be in heaven. But while we're here on earth, it's always going to be a problem to solve. It's always going to be somebody to help, somebody to serve, somebody to, keep a kid out of prison. Keep a kid out of prison. That's the number one thing that the reason healthy options exists is I'm the strong man of the house. You know, I keep young people from going to prison. And now if they bully me by breaking every rule, doing everything they can to go to prison, then hey, you're gonna end up where you're supposed to, because your future is dictated on what you do now, what you do today. That's your future. People say the future is the future. No, the future is now, and now again, and now. The future is perpetual. The present and the future is synonymous. It's together, like wet and water. You can't separate them. It's the same, right? And here's the scariest thing: the past and the present is synonymous. If you take your mind there. So something that hurt somebody 10 years ago, back in the past, can hurt them again today, like it did in the past, because they put their mind there. Well, the future, your vision, your identity, is always improvement. You can never catch it. So you're always improving as you're working right now in the present moment. So for those kids that don't want to do anything specific, you don't know what you want, you always say, I don't know. When people ask you the question, you have a serious problem that you got to deal with. You have to figure out what you want. You don't want to be a YouTuber, everybody. You don't want to be a video game master. You don't want to have 1 million followers. That's not the only thing you want to do. But if it is the only thing you want to do, then say that's what you want. And then start working towards that end. And you will surely arrive. You will surely arrive. You have to. It's the law. If I walk to California from Indiana, if I start walking to California right now, it's going to be a lot of obstacles. It's going to be weather changes. There's going to be some stuff in the road. There's going to be a lot of trouble to get me from where I'm at to Cali. If I had to walk there, if I must walk there, I ain't talking about it's going to be a lot. I can't get a ride. I can't get on the airplane. I got to walk on my own 2 feet all the way to Cali. How many obstacles? How many times will I want to quit before I got there? I'm sure a lot. But if I must get there for one of my children, my grandbaby, I'm going to surely get there. And no matter what the obstacle is, I'm going to keep walking until I arrive.
Hey, next episode we're gonna talk about the four levels.
Yeah.
Of are you walking? Are you on a bike? Are you on an airplane? Or are you on you know what I'm saying? Are you on a jet? Where you at? We're gonna talk about that next time, Pops. But but as we start to close this thing out, Pops, I want to talk about the byproduct, because when you talk about that QR code on your shirt, that's a byproduct. That's just you're already doing it. You're just adding something incremental to it to say, hey, I'm already taking pictures. If somebody's too scared to ask me, or they don't want to bother me because I'm busy, beep, QR code, here it is, right? That's a byproduct. If like every single thing is a byproduct, like because like as we talk about the youth to say, hey, a lot of times they don't know what they want. So I want to go back to this real quick too. They say they don't know what they want, but like I talked about earlier in the episode, find out what you don't want by going out and doing things. Don't just sit in the house and be like, well, I'm not going to do nothing because I don't know. No, go fail. Go do something, go fail and say, I definitely don't want to do that. Now, the cool part is it's not a failure. You learned. You learned that you don't want to do this, and this is not for you. That's how you figure out what you want. But you got to go do things to figure out what you want. You're not just going to wake up and be like, oh, that's what I want. Here it is. No, that's not the way the world works. You're not going to just wake up the next day and just be swole. No, you got to go fail in the gym. You have to go to the gym to fail. You realize people go to the gym, like Paul talking about, he goes to the gym to fail. Because when you fail, you get stronger. Why does God put these failures in your life? To make you stronger. If you're praying for strength, guess what he does? He beats you down first. Because that's what builds you up to build strength. So this is all the basic principles and it boils down to this, man. It's life isn't happening to you, it's happening for you. So if that's the one thing that you can click, and if you don't listen to anything in this whole episode 5 of the Mental Scratch podcast, nothing else, if you listen to this one thing, you will improve. Life's not happening to you, it's happening for you. So if you realize that, oh, that happened because I was supposed to learn this and this and this and that, you're going to improve your life. And just remember that everything is a byproduct. So the goal is not just to go get the money. Money's just a tool. Money's a tool. That's all it is. It's not the goal. It shouldn't be the goal. If it is the goal, I'm just letting you know, you're probably not going to reach it. And guess how I learned that? I learned that through watching my pops failure, straight up. And then he
Mm-hmm.
passed those gems to me and said, "Oh nah, son, you ain't gotta. Nah, I already did all that. You ain't even gotta go that route.
Mm-hmm.
I've already done that. Here you go.
Mm-hmm.
Here you go." So next episode we'll talk about the who, not how. So we'll talk about the who, not how. We'll talk about the 4 levels of elevating up to the top level. But anyway, as we close out, Pops, you got any last words for the people before we close?
Yeah. So ask yourself a question, these 3 questions, and then another additional question. Just ask yourself, what do you want? Imagine that God came. Just imagine God tore up in the sky. Just use your imagination, because God ain't gonna do that. He's too big for that. He ain't so petty. He gonna just, if you don't have faith to believe this, I understand. But imagine that God tears open the sky and said, anything you desire, just tell me right now, and I would surely do it for you. What is that one thing you would ask God for? What is it? What do you want more than anything on earth? Do you want your time? Do you want your money? Do you want do you just want to be comfortable where you don't have to worry about money ever? Do you just want to be able to buy your son some shoes or your daughter some shoes without like scratching pennies? Do you want to work up with your own energy? What do you want for yourself? Don't put your energy in a car, a house, um, even a business. You have to know why you want these things. For who? Is it for you? Is it for your family? Is it for your time? What is it for? What do you want? One thing, just think of that. And it's a very tormenting thing, because the world and Google and Facebook and YouTube and people and news and commercials, it's so many things bombarding you with ideas and suggestions. Turn it off. Ask yourself, what do you want? Imagine God asked you that question. I'm not God. My son is not God, but we work for him. We send straight from him. Number 2, ask yourself why you want it. Answer the question why you want it. It's very deep to answer this question, because if you can really truly answer this question why you want it, then you won't quit when it gets hard.
Mm.
You won't quit in the middle of a river and then turn back and go back to the shore when the goal and the manifestation is on the other side. Let us go to the other side, and get to the point that we need to get to. Number 3, you gotta sacrifice something. You're gonna have to sacrifice some of your money, some of your time, some of your energy in order to manifest that word from what it is, which is invisible, to flesh that thing and make that thing physical. You're gonna have to give your time, and that's the way God does it. There's no magic. Nobody's gonna drop it. God ain't gonna drop it out the sky. You ask for it. It's invisible. It's in your mind and imagination. You have to bring it forth. You have to give something to get something. You have to give a seed in order to get a plant. It's just the way it works. And then, what do you want to do for a living? Or what do you do for a living? Ask yourself the question. What do you do? What am I doing right now? This is the bonus question, by the way. What are you doing for a living right now? When you answer that question, if you're doing exactly what you want to do, success.
Mm-hmm.
If you are not doing what you want to do, then that means you want something. That means you want something different. You want something more improved. So be grateful. Affirm what you believe. The Freedom Finders Unleash. You guys need to get in there. You need to apply. You really need to apply for this, because I know where Devin's going with this. I know where the team is going with this, and it's as clear as this water right here to me. It's clear. I can see right through all the plans. I see his motives. His motives is for people. It's not for money. And that's the most beautiful thing about this. It's not for money. Money is going to pour into his life. It's not about money. It's really
Byproduct.
about the transformation of people, because nobody gave this to us. So I think that's what my son wants to give to the people, because this is something that we lacked.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's what I got for you today.
Yes, sir, man. I definitely appreciate the plug because, hey, I don't ask myself how much, what do I want? Let's talk about money right now real quick. I don't say
Mm-hmm.
I want X. Guess what I say? I say I want to transform the lives of X amount of people. And by the byproduct of that, I will get paid. The money is the byproduct. It's on the back end. Go out and change lives first. Go transform some lives first. If that's what you're gonna do, if you a coach, if you a consultant, if you a mentor, that's who I'm talking to right now. Go make the change first. Just go do it. Like even today, like it's like how do I have so much time? Like there's not enough time. It doesn't matter. I make time because I'm prioritizing the time. It's not that I don't have time. Next time you ask yourself, why don't I have time? Next time you hear yourself say, I don't have time, replace that with, I'm not prioritizing. I'm not prioritizing my time. And see how that feel. It don't feel good. I'll be honest with you. Say, hey, I want to grow and I want to reach my goal. Instead of saying I don't have time to reach my goal, say I'm not prioritizing to reach my goal. And then she'll be like, ooh, that hurt a little bit, don't it? Yeah. That's what it all is. I mean, I'm not gonna tell you all the stuff I'm doing. I mean, I'm at every day from 7 to 8 p.m. I'm today I'm about to go spend some time with the wife, but I'm getting right back to it, the Jack and Jill of America at 4:00, 46. Like it's anyway. Appreciate the plug, Pops, but it's the byproduct. It's the byproduct of everything. So man, as we close this thing out, oh man, I lost it. I had it up too. I had one more thing to say. It's okay. We'll save it for the next episode. It's in the close. That's that technology. That's what I'm talking about. Well, if you wrote it down on paper, it wouldn't close, huh? But nah, man. So today, man, we talked about the first achievement being failure. We talked about some partnerships, and I know we did talk about we're gonna get to the why, but we intermixed the why of all this because the why is one of the most important things you can have about what you're doing. It's gonna make you continue doing what you want to do, even when you don't feel like it. That's what the why does there. So what is the why? Let's make sure that we're achieving and failing early. And lastly, do not be scared to get a partner. Partners are here to help you because I would much rather, much rather have 50% of a watermelon than 100% of the grape. So that does it for us, man. Pops, I appreciate you, man. Always dropping the gems on the people. So that does it for us today. For the Mental Scraps, myself, Devin Scott, and my co-host, my Pops, Darnell Scott, man, for episode 5 of the Mental Scraps podcast. We're signing off. Y'all gonna be great today.